Myself, Dr. Ketan Shah, Professor Parul Institute of Pharmacy and Research, Parul University, welcome you all to the webinar on Artificial Intelligence in Healthcare. Our today's speaker is Dr. Praveen Tirgar, Professor, School of Pharmacy, RK University, Rajkot. Dr. Tirgar has completed his BPharm from KB Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Gandhinagar. He did his MPharm in Pharmacology from LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad. Dr. Tirgar did his PhD from Saurashtra University, Rajkot. Dr. Praveen Tirgar received a research grant from Gujkosh Gandhinagar for his work on evaluation of beneficial effect of lineum ucitatium in congestive heart failure. He also received a grant from Gujarat State Biotechnology Mission and Gujkosh for conduction of workshop. Dr. Tirgar is also a CPCSA nominee. He is also an editorial board member in various international journals. Presently, 8 PhD scholars are pursuing PhD under his valuable guidance. He has guided more than 15 MPharm students. Dr. Tirgar published more than 55 research publications in various national and international journals. So, with this brief introduction, I would like to invite Dr. Praveen Tirgar for his talk. Over to you, sir. Praveen, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ketan Shah, for nice introduction, and welcome to all the present on this webinar on artificial intelligence in healthcare. Myself, Praveen Tirgar, I am professor in School of Pharmacy, RK University, and today in this webinar, I nourish you, I give you the knowledge about the artificial intelligence in the healthcare. So I prepare interesting presentation for you, and I also show some video that will be really helpful you to understand what is the role of artificial intelligence in the healthcare. Let's start with a video.
Alexa, songs from Amazon Prime Music. Alexa, open my calendar. And pick football active at 4 p.m. Okay, guys, Alexa, what's the news? Here's the flash briefing.
Excuse me, Praveen, sir. Your video is not visible right now.
Alexa, play some Bollywood music. Yeah. Playing Bollywood songs from Amazon Prime Music. Alexa,
Now visible, sir?
play relaxing songs. Playing relaxing songs from Amazon Prime Music.
It is visible, sir?
Not this only.
No, sir.
Alexa, play.
Now it is my presentation is visible, sir?
If presentation is visible, please go to the next slide, sir.
Okay, it is next slide.
Oh,
Sorry. Today, in my topic, I discuss this content, introduction of the artificial intelligence. Then we discuss the history of and technology related to artificial intelligence. And the key aspects in artificial intelligence in healthcare, I discuss various applications and world real problem that is solved by the artificial intelligence and what are the potential challenges in artificial intelligence. So this is the full of the content of my topic. So first, I think I'm not able to convey my video, but this video is about the Alexa, and I think you know the Alexa. Routinely you are seeing in your TVs. What is the Alexa? Alexa is nothing but a good example of the artificial intelligence, where you can give you any question, it give the answer, it recognize your speech and give you the answer. It can be turn on or turn off the your lights. So there are a number of tasks that can be performed. So it is one of the good example of the artificial intelligence in the routine life. But today we are discussing about the artificial intelligence in the healthcare. So first I will explaining you what is the artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence basically is coined in 1955 by the John McCarthy. It is basically a US computer engineer and US computer scientist. He is called as the foundation of the artificial intelligence, and he coined the word artificial intelligence. Basically, he invented one list kind of the program-based computer program technology. On that basis, nowadays, whatever you currently see, the artificial intelligence that will basically work on that program. So what is this artificial intelligence? So it is a basically branch of the computer science which can be concerning and connecting with the machines, and using this combination of the computer science and machines, machines are capable to performing the task which is not typically required human intelligence. So that is called as artificial intelligence. You can see the picture where you can find out the driverless cars. This is the global future, where we does not need to have the driver even need the driving license. All is possible because of the artificial intelligence. Second, you can see there are lots of scope of artificial intelligence in various disciplines, like in agriculture industry. You can see this picture. Now robots are available. They pick the right and exactly good fruits from the plant. So it is because of the artificial intelligence. And you can see in last picture, you heard lots of robots, and these robots are really helpful to smooth your routine life. And Japan, China, and UK, they are leading in artificial intelligence, and Japan is going to become a very surprise leaders in artificial intelligence adoption. Now I'm trying to explain you how the artificial intelligence works. I'm not basically belonging to the computer science, but I'm from the pharmacy background. So basically, I try to explain the artificial intelligence work by the two things that is called as the machine learning algorithms and deep learning. So what is the meaning of the machine learning algorithm? Machine learning algorithm, it is nothing but the computer algorithm, and this computer algorithm is made in such a way that it improve the automatically experience of the machines. An algorithm is nothing but it is a sequence of well-defined computer implemented instruction, and that is typically to solve a class of the problem. So combination of the machine learning and algorithm, that is a one of the part by which machines can perform the work. But for the deep learning, the other concept in artificial intelligence is the deep learning. So what is the meaning of deep learning? Deep learning is having the various examples, like there are deep neural network, deep belief networks, recurrent neural networks, and there are such kind of different deep learning. So ultimately, combination of the machine learning and deep learning, any machines, they can perform the visual experience. They can make a visible. They can recognize the speech and audio. They can also recognize the language. They can also filtering certain tasks like filtering of the emails from the social network or Gmail. Then it also translate whatever we give the instruction. They can also read some bioinformations, and they can also helpful in diagnosis in medical images. They can also helpful in the material inspection. Okay, sorry for. Okay, I hope now my slide is visible, Ketan sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it's okay. It's visible.
We are at which slide number? This one is fine.
Yeah, right now it's slide number 5.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So I hope I explain you how artificial intelligence works. It is worked by the machine learning concept and the deep learning concept. What are the benefits of the artificial intelligence over the normal technology? With the help of the artificial intelligence, we can give accurate results. Level of accuracy is increased. For example, if you want to pick one single ripe fruit from a huge number of fruits, then it is possible to pick by the machines. It takes some time for the even for the human beings. So accuracy is increased. It is also help us in decision making process. As you know, particularly if we consider in what we can say in analysis of the ECG, it is very difficult for doctors. But with the help of the artificial intelligence, we can easily analyze ECG and we can give a specific result, which kind of arrhythmia is there. Then artificial intelligence solve the complex problems that is very difficult to perform by the human beings. Okay. Then it is also helpful to perform a high level of computation, which take days for the human to solve. So these are all our advantage, and human beings, they are empowered with the use of the artificial intelligence. Now, sir, I zoom this slide so it is visible to all of you. Chetan, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so fine. So now our next content is the few history related to the invention of the artificial intelligence as well as the digital technology related to the healthcare. So if you see in 1950, the scientists developed various instruments related to the healthcare by the use of the technology like artificial kidney. Artificial kidney is nothing but like a hemodialysis. Then they can also invented some X-ray and ECG that is very useful in diagnosis. In 1950, we are also invented some cardio pacemaker, cardiopulmonary bypass, antibiotic production technology. That's why there is a huge number of antibiotics that are discovered in 1950s, and defibrillator that is helpful to normalize your heart situation. So they all are invented in 1950. They are related with the technology, not exactly with the artificial intelligence. In 1960, there are what you can say the invention related to the heart valve replacement. We are made some lenses, intraocular lenses, which are really useful in disease like cataract and glaucoma, and ultrasound technology, vascular graft, and analysis of the blood cell counter, so that will be made easy our life to detect and diagnosis of the some blood disorders and infectious disease. If you see in 1970, we are invented so many technology that is called as the computer assisted tomography, then artificial hip and knee replacements, endoscopy. You can heard endoscopy by use of the certain videos. We can analyze the internal organs, and that is helpful to perform surgery. Then biological plant and food engineering that increase the yield of the medicinal plants. So that is in 1970, 1980, there is a huge invention related to the MRI. And you know, nowadays, CT scan and MRI all are very important technology, and some of the artificial intelligence based MRIs are also available. They are useful in screening of the normal physiology and disease. Then laser surgery and recombinant therapy. By recombinant therapy, we are able to produce the monoclonal antibodies. If you see in 2000, we are developing various genomic sequencing and microarrays. These are nothing but the PCR, ELISA, RIA, SDS, PAGE, that kind of the technology, which are really useful to identify your DNA, your genetic sequencing, and that is really useful to develop certain gene-based drug structure. Then Cositon imaging tomography and image guided surgery that is also invented during the 200th century. So this is just give you the idea how the health sectors are developed, and all these health sectors there is addition of the artificial intelligence. So in the next slides, I will try to explain how the artificial intelligence they are really helpful in your real world application. The question is why need artificial intelligence in the healthcare? There are certain reasons are there. First reason is in your healthcare there is a highly repetitive work. You see in this picture, first picture, if you see in any charitable hospital, there are huge lines for the diagnosis, for the routine checkup and the treatment, and there is a less availability of the nursing staff, administrative staffs, and doctors, and that is one of the reasons are there. They are because they are performing lots of repetitive work like taking the case study, checking the histories, and so many tasks are there. So with the artificial of intelligence, we can reduce the time. then empowers the doctors. We discuss lots of applications are there, like robotic surgeries are there. Then nursing, like virtual nurse, that kind of concepts are there that really helps the doctors to increase the valuable time with the patients, and that is have the maximum benefit to the patients. With the help of the artificial intelligence, we deliver faster and more accurate service by doctors. Okay, for examples, you can see in clinical decision making, doctors take so many times whenever they see the CT scan and MRI reports. Even it is not accurate many times, but nowadays such kind of the softwares and artificial intelligence technologies are available. They predict exact kind of the diagnosis of particular disease by analyzing these all the graphs available. So that is possible because of AI. Replace the personnel and staffing in medical facility, particularly in administrative functions. That is because of the computer-based artificial intelligence technology. Virtual nurse concept is also there. That is really helpful into the hospitals. And obviously, we can also manage in the waiting time. So that is a thing that we need to improve. And really, artificial intelligence do good things and solve all these problems related to the healthcare. Now we are moving to the core part of the our webinar, that is a few applications related to the artificial intelligence into the healthcare. I am showing some videos, if possible, if allowed, my PC to you, and by some real world application. I will give some real world application that will be really helpful to understand what is the current status and future status of artificial intelligence in the healthcare. So this is the point of discussion. We are going to discuss the use of the surgical robots in healthcare. Then we also discuss the virtual nursing assistants, not physical but virtual nursing assistants. That is very important and very interesting to know. Then what is the role of artificial intelligence in early diagnosis of the disease? That is always, the prevention is always better than cure. So few disease like cancer, diabetes, if we try to prevent it, it is possible by early diagnosis. Then we can also discuss few applications and Google app, which is really helpful in detection of the disease, particularly diabetic retinopathy. And I also focusing and give you some examples of Android application that can be available even in your mobile phone that check that track your health, and that is really helpful to you. Okay, and then we discuss what is the artificial intelligence in drug discovery and development. Okay, in preclinical and clinical trials that ultimately reduce the cost and time to come the new drug into the market. And last concept is about the relation between the artificial intelligence and telemedicine or the tele healthcare. So this is the main content, and we can discuss one by one. So let's go with the first main application of artificial intelligence, that is a utilization of the surgical robots in the healthcare. Now, don't misunderstand surgical robots. Normally, when surgical robots comes into your mind, means that robot that performs surgery. No, it's wrong. This is kind of the robots that is really helpful to make a good decision during the surgery. How it is possible? By the use of surgical robots, we can minimize certain errors that normally doctors do. By minimizing this error, we can also increase the efficiency of the surgeons, and we can empower the surgeons to do the proper techniques during the surgery, and there is a maximum output from the patient. And it also reduces the ultimate cost of the patient staying into the hospital. Now, the question is how this robot help to the surgeons. If you see the first point, every surgeons have some anxiety and they feel micro tremors during the surgery, depending on their physical and mental status during the surgery. But the micro tremor is a common problem with surgeons and those who are particularly neurosurgery. As you know, in neurosurgery, they have to go in very specific part, otherwise it can be damaged to your normal parts. So that micro tremor that can be damaged to the other cell, other tissue. So with the use of the surgical robot, you can minimize it. Then second thing, by the use of the surgical robots, you can reducing the variation in surgical process. As you know, the physician, even they are the humans and they are doing some errors. Okay, they are not do the work like the machines by the 24 hours and 7 days. So there are some errors that can be take place. So that error can be minimized using the surgical robot. Then automating the less critical tasks such as the suturing. As you know, suturing can also possible nowadays by the surgical robot that we see in the video. And last is the collecting the data from the each surgery that can be improve the future procedure. Obviously, there is always chance of the improvement. So during the surgery, all the videos they are captured and they are put in their softwares and they can improve themselves also. So this is regarding how the surgical robots they are helpful into the healthcare. Okay, so I give one example of the real world application. One artificial intelligence based surgical robots are available by one company, and the name of this robot is the Da Vinci. Let's. I try to start the video. Let's permit me or not.
Number 8. Innovation in robotic surgery.
Total sir, my video.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audio, video, both are there.
Okay, thank you
Please
very
continue.
much. So I think you can
An extension of the physician's hands, robotic surgery provides pinpoint accuracy. Advances in the field range from the development of more accurate planning tools and software to increased automation of tasks during surgery. Precision surgical arms designed for proper instrument positioning and implantation during spinal surgery increase surgeon precision. Automating the bronchoscopy process avoids incisions with the insertion of flexible tubes through the body's natural openings. Using a controller-like interface, this advancement increases accuracy and safety while decreasing invasiveness and cost. Robotization is also reaching endovascular procedures like percutaneous coronary intervention, PCI, and peripheral vascular intervention, PVI, which traditionally require the surgeon to wear lead. Using robotics now lowers risk for patients and the surgeon while improving outcomes. Robotic surgery provides precision, flexibility, and control. Paired with shortened recovery time and limited pain, patients benefit from the continued advancements in the field.
Okay, so I hope you clearly understand what an artificial robot can do by the use of the artificial intelligence. So it is a real world application that we see any hospital they can purchase it, and it really empowers your doctors in lots of surgical process. And they are doing lots of surgical intervention like suturing and tremor that happen with surgery can be also reduced by the help of the this kind of the robot. So this is our future. You can see after 5, 10 years, even in India, you can find out so many surgical robots that really help the doctor. But never doctors, the robots, they are never replace our doctors. So this is the first application. Now, second very interesting application of the artificial intelligence is the virtual nurse assistant. Is a virtual nurse. As you know, India is the hub of the diabetes, and in every family, most of your father, mother, or grandfather or grandmother, they have a disease, and one person is always with him or her to take care. Whether he or she take medicine properly, they eat the food properly or not, they are doing exercise properly or not, and it is very tedious process. So we have the concept of the virtual nurse assistant, and according to one research paper published, this is concept is very much going to implemented in future, and that is about the values of these kind of the software, or we will see the video also. The term values are going to increase about the 20 billion US dollar into the market by 2027. So what is this actually a virtual nurse assistant? A virtual nurse assistant is nothing but it is a speech recognition machine assist you. This how this virtual nurse assist you. They assist you in certain points. like the self-care. What is meaning of self-care? By these machines, they provide some clinical advice to you whether you should eat these medicines or not. Okay, they gives the continuous reminder about the medication times. Okay, you have to take the 2 times, so it's already data is created in such a way that it gives the alarm to you now it is time to take your medicines. Okay, so just you need internet connection and that particularly AI based softwares with you. They are also helpful in scheduling the appointment with your doctors. Okay, many times we forget with the appointment with doctors, but can be also helpful to you in this way also. They can also helpful you for your medication time that I already discussed, and it also advise about the medicines and whether or not you should eat a certain food and or give the lots of clinical advice also. You should not take this food with medicines. Okay, you should do some exercise with these drugs. Okay, that kind of advice is also given time by time by the this virtual nurse assistant. You think that really it is possible? Yes, it is really possible, and certain companies they are also invented this kind of virtual nurse assistant. One such good product, there are certain good products are there like Angel is there, Sensely is there. There are two already available virtual nurse assistants are there. So let's see again a good video how the Sensely, what is virtual nurse assistants, get really helpful to a patient.
Our app can be a part of their lives every day. So our avatar Molly, she can check in with the patient every single morning, more than once a day if that's needed. She can ask the patients how they're doing. She can collect really important information such as their weight, their blood pressure, glucose levels, ask them relevant questions to whatever condition they might have. And all this information can be funneled back to the clinician seamlessly, so the clinician can just be alerted to which patients are actually possibly having an issue that day.
Your weight is 190.9 pounds. You did not gain any weight. That's good. Now let's take your blood pressure. Please make sure the cuff is on by pressing the orange button on the side of the
Because we have this avatar that talks to you and you can talk back to, it makes people way more engaged because patients have told me it's comforting to have her. Like someone's holding my hand and they would rather talk to her than just use an app on their phone. Because of that engagement level, they're more likely to do these types of things to keep themselves healthier.
149/94. Your pulse is 81 beats per minute. Your blood pressure is a bit high today. We will keep monitoring that. Now that we are done taking your vitals, I want to ask you more about how you are feeling. If you are experiencing shortness of breath, is it worse than normal? Anything else you want to tell me?
No.
Because of your results this morning, you need to check in with a nurse to see if there are any adjustments you need to make to your clinical routine. It's outside of regular office hours, but I can still connect you with someone. Would you like me to do so? All right. A nurse will give you a call back on the next business day to see how you are doing. Thanks for your time, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Okay, I hope you understand how this virtual nurse assistant that is called as Sensely that really helpful to care the patient. It mostly record all the data of the patient like blood pressure, your body weight, and it is also assist whether you take the medicines are there or not. If you feel any problem, you can also give the answer to the virtual nurse, and they can also record it, and they also set the appointment with the doctor. So this is one of the real world application of the virtual nurse assistant, and it is because of the artificial intelligence. Now, third things that the real world application of the artificial intelligence is the diagnosis, and mostly is a early diagnosis of the disease. I think all of you are familiar with the logo. The logo is about the Apple, and this is the watch that everyone want to wear. That is a Apple Watch. There are lots of health tracker and watches are available from the company like Fitbit, Apple Watch. Okay, and they are basically use the artificial intelligence. Okay, and what is the motto of the Apple Watch? Precaution is always better than the cure. So I will give you one examples of that also, but first understand how this watch they can work in early diagnosis of the disease. Basically, this Apple Watch and other watches, they are monitors your data once you wear this watch. They monitor different parameters of your body, like the heart rate, like sleeping pattern, like breathing rate, your activity levels. They check your blood pressure, systolic and diastolic blood pressure. They can check your the oxygen level, carbon dioxide level, and so many things they are tracked. All the data they are tracked, they are goes into the deep learning, and where they are processing and analyzing and make a prediction. If your artificial intelligence data analyze that there is into the heart rate since last 5 days, then it gives the alarm to next day that your heart rate, your blood pressure, or any of these parameters is increased, and that you signal that you have the chances of the heart attack. I share one real world application with you. I see one article that if one person, the name of the person is the Scott Gillan. It is a US person, and he used this Apple Watch. Okay, and he had mild heart attack, but his life is saved because of the continuous alarm is given by this Apple Watch, and he early predicted that he has chances of the heart attack, and he immediately went to the doctor and hospitals and take necessary medicines, and his life is saved. So really, this kind of the health tracker that can be helpful in early diagnosis of the diseases. Now moving to the next application of the artificial intelligence, the Google. And we are very proud that the CEO of the Google is Sundar Pichai, which is belonging to the India. I think you know, in 2018, the Sundar Pichai announced that Google is coming to the artificial intelligence, not only into the various disciplines, but also coming into the health sectors. And they developed one artificial intelligence based devices, and that is very useful in the detection of the diabetic retinopathy. I think you know what is the diabetic retinopathy. It is a damage of your eye because of the high sugar level, and it is one of the complication and which is leading to the blindness into the person, those who are diabetic. So with the help of these detecting artificial intelligent devices, what this device is used, basically this device is nothing but it taking largest existing medical data about the eye structure. Okay, so previously there are millions of the data related to the eye structure. They are fed into the computer assisted technologies by deep learning processing, and on basis of that, whenever we check the person's eye by this some lenses, they giving the information on which stage there is a retinopathy. So again, with how these devices, artificial intelligence works, let's see next video that will be more idea.
AI is going to transform. Last year, we announced our work on diabetic retinopathy. It's the leading cause of blindness, and we use deep learning to help doctors diagnose it earlier. And we've been running field trials since then at Aravind and Sankara hospitals in India, and the field trials are going really well. We are bringing expert diagnosis to places where trained doctors are scarce. It turned out, using the same retinal scans, there were things which humans quite didn't know to look for, but our AI systems offered more insights. Your same eye scan turns out holds information with which we can predict the 5-year risk of you having an adverse cardiovascular event, heart attack or strokes. So to me, the interesting thing is that more than what doctors could find in these eye scans, the machine learning systems offered newer insights. This could be the basis for a new non-invasive way to detect cardiovascular risk. And we just published the research, and we are going to be working to bring this to field trials with our partners. Another area where AI can help is to actually help doctors predict medical events. Turns out doctors have a lot of difficult decisions to make, and for them, getting advance notice, say 24 to 48 hours before a patient is likely to get very sick, has a tremendous difference in the outcome. And so we have put our machine learning systems to work. We've been working with our partners using de-identified medical records. And it turns out if you go and analyze over 100,000 data points per patient, more than any single doctor could analyze, we can actually quantitatively predict the chance of readmission 24 to 48 hours before, earlier than traditional methods. It gives doctors more time to act. We are publishing our paper on this later today, and we are looking forward to partnering with hospitals and medical institutions.
Okay, so it is very clear that by the use of the machine learning and artificial intelligence, even we can not only predict the retinopathy, but we can also detect few advanced complications that is found in diabetes, like we can also detect the coronary artery disease, even the obesity, that can be also helpful in detection. So it is not possible by the normal physicians. So really good application, and it is under trials, and in future you can really see this kind of lots of devices in the market, and that can be really improve the healthcare. Now I'm discussing few another applications which are based on to the Android or iOS base that really check your health. Okay, so there are lots of applications you can find out in your Play stores. Like these are few, there are very few I mentioned here, like a disease detector, My Health Check 360, pulse oximeter, beat and oxygen, and there are a number of Android applications. Even your Samsung phone have Samsung Health applications are there. So there are lots of Android applications are there, and I came to know that this application is really helpful in many ways. They give you the idea about, they track your routine activity, they check your steps, they can also advise on exercise, they can also identify the risk factor of your related to your body. They can also helpful to make the appointment with the doctors, and many things are possible with this health check. So really you can try any one of these, and really it is a life-saving things for you. So these are few things. There are lots of things that you can find out in the Google Play Store. Next is AI in the assist the physician. Obviously, all the artificial intelligence devices are ultimately made for assist the physicians or for empower the physicians. The thing is that how they empower the physicians. Number of way they assist the physicians, like they helpful into the clinical decision making, like you see like ECG identification of which kind of the arrhythmias is there by CT scan and MRI. When I see CT scan and MRI, it is very difficult even for me, as I am belonging to the pharmacology, to predict which kind of progression of disease are there or not. Even it is very difficult for radiologists or any MD doctors, too difficult to detect which kind of progression or which kind of disease are there. Even you can check any what you can say images or any your test with two doctors. One doctor says there is nothing with this images, nothing with this parameter, and the second doctor said, oh, this is having some serious problem. So even doctors, they don't know how to analyze any kind of this clinical decision making process. But with the help of the artificial intelligence, is accurate and precision about the progress of the disease and type of the disease, and also detected by the artificial intelligence. Second thing, how they assist, they replace the human judgment in certain functional area like radiology, as I said earlier. And this artificial intelligence technologies is available for the 24 hours and 7 days. That is not happen with the every hospital. When we are going in emergency, we have to stay for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, even for 1 hour and 2 hours. So within this time, patient having found very critical situations. So it is also create some issue. So it is not possible if you use the artificial intelligence technology. It is also helpful in making the decision related to the non-pharmacological management. So artificial intelligence, they can also suggest you about which kind of exercise, which kind of food you have to take, which kind of the smoking habits if you have to reduce it. You can also identify the risk factor with you. That is also possible with the AI. They are also reduce the diagnostic and therapeutic errors that is normally made by the physicians as a human error, and it also increase the patient safety. They are also helpful to identify the right drug for the right patients, right dose and schedule. That can be also possible with the artificial intelligence. And ultimately, it reduces the hospital stays and it reduces the cost of the patients by the use of the artificial intelligence. Again, I give you more video so you can understand betterly how the artificial intelligence assists you in radiology, in identification of the disease. So let's see again a video how the artificial intelligence assists you. Okay, so that is you got the angiography. What normally angiography, they are also utilize kind of the technology, kind of the artificial intelligence, where we can easily identify the blockage found in which artery. So it assists the physician into the diagnosis, and basis on that they perform the surgery. So these are really good things. Now moving to the next application of the artificial intelligence, which is related to the telemedicines, and you can also say telehealth system. So first, try to understand what is meaning of the telehealth. Telehealth is not the telephonic health, but it is related with the telecommunication. So what is the telehealth? Telehealth is nothing but it is a distribution of health-related service and information via the electronic information and telecommunication technology. For example, there are certain interior parts in India and every world. There is tribal areas are there where we are not able to go, and we cannot cure or we cannot give the treatment to any person. So in that condition, telehealth system play a vital role where we are using the telecommunication technology and artificial intelligence technology. So those experts like doctors, physicians, they are available in the hospitals, and some devices they are only go into the tribal area or interior area. So by some telecommunication, by information technologies, the clinicians they contact, care, give the advice, give the reminders, give the education, intervention, monitoring, and remote the admissions. Okay, what to do with this patient, that can be directly given the idea to the patient. So that is very helpful in rural setting where there is a lack of transportation, there is a lack of mobility. We cannot easily move these kind of devices there. Okay, we can also decrease the staff restriction access to that care. Telehealth is really make a bridge between this kind of a situation. So that is about how the artificial intelligence comes. This is one picture of the India where there is a artificial intelligence based van is there. In that van, there is artificial intelligence based the communication technologies are there. So they are moving into the rural area, tribal area, and where there is only nursing staff is there, and doctors they are found in remote place. So they are easily connected with the rural patients, persons, and they easily give the clinical decision and give and treated very easily. So that is our Chandigarh and Assam and Cochin. So this kind of telemedicines, telehealth systems are running in India also. Uh, in telemedicine, we have the concept of the teleophthalmology. Teleophthalmology, it is utilization of the information technology. Those persons, they are in a rural area. They can using some software-based telecommunication technology, and they can check your eyes, and these eyes, whatever the images are created, they are seen by the doctor. They are far away from that patient, and they give the advice about the that eye related issues, eye related diseases. Another concept about the use of the artificial intelligence in telehealth system is use of the drone. Normally, you see the drone that is only for capturing the video. Okay, but really, drone is also very useful to deliver the medicines, life-saving medicines in interior parts. This kind of real-world use of the drone, that is, I found one video based on to the Amazon. So you can see this drone. This is just an experiment. This is the first experiment by which we are trying to transport the medicines to the interior part.
Hey, Stan Brock, how big a moment is this?
Well, for me, it's the beginning of the possibility, or shall I say the probability, of us being able to deliver emergency medicine to our operations in the Amazon, in Africa, and in Haiti.
And right here in the United States.
Well, of course, 90% of what we do is here in the United States. And so it really is a big moment.
Are we going to catch up with the European?
Well, I think that's probably up to the FAA to make these obvious regulations that are needed, not too draconian. And then we will.
Yes, so here I'm trying to explain the role of a drone in delivering of the medicines. The only thing is that whether the medicines is particularly for a specific disease persons or not. So that you have to check, and we also need to take the approval from the regulatory. That is a concern. So at the end, we discuss certain demerits or challenges of the artificial intelligence. Now we are moving to the end of the topic, the application of the artificial intelligence and the drug discovery. I think you know drug discovery and design is a very tedious process. It is a very long process, and billions of rupees are spent in developing one single molecule. Okay, so it is a very huge task. Now, with the help of the artificial intelligence, it is possible to reduce not only the time but also the cost. There are certain technologies are available. DMDL tools technologies are available that we see in the next video. This tool DMDL technology tools are nothing but they are the artificial intelligence based virtual screening of the potential candidate to become go into the clinical trial. They can be helpful into the structure activity relationship analysis. You heard about the molecular docking studies are there where we can find out whether your probable drugs that can go into clinical trial are able to bind with your structure. It is responsible for the activities like they are bind with the receptor, enzyme, ion channel. So they predict earlier in silico study. They helpful also in designing of the chemical structure. They can also helpful in the synthesis, like you heard the high throughput screening structures are there.
and lots of data are available regarding the in vitro. On basis of the collection of this all in vitro data, like the cell line studies, it is also possible artificial cell line studies by which we can predict whether the drugs are effective by actually without going into the actual in vitro studies. So it is possible by the certain artificial intelligence software. Even we do not need to perform the some preclinical studies onto the animals like rat, and they can also predict lots of things like what is the ADMET, that is absorption, distribution, metabolism, excision, and toxicity analysis without performing any experiment onto the animals. That can be also predicted using the artificial intelligence. So all these processes are very smooth by this technology of the artificial intelligence, and we can bring only very few molecules into the clinical trials. So ultimately, we reduce the company cost. So that can be also possible with the artificial intelligence. So again, I have the last video that explaining you about this technology that is really helpful in drug discovery and design and clinical trial.
The average time required from the invention to market is about 14 years and cost around 2.8 billion United States dollars. Two major factors for the failures in discovery are efficacy and toxicity. Though the discovery of drugs is a slow process with high investment, the pharmaceutical companies and academic institutes are still spending money because of high commercial potential and also benefits society. A huge amount of experimental data accumulated from the past decades, including in vitro, biochemical assays, in vivo assays, and clinical trials. This data will become a valuable source for learning and understanding the success and failure of compounds in the entire discovery process. The acquired knowledge will be useful to predict future drug candidates in the discovery experiments. The generation of the knowledge hypothesis from the known data can be implemented by using machine learning, deep learning methods. Since the data accumulated as huge, big data, proper curation, efficient mining and building hypothesis (ML/DL) models need to be implemented in the drug discovery and development pipeline of the pharmaceutical industry to increase their success rates. The integration of these tools as artificial intelligence (AI) can serve end-to-end drug discovery and development. Thus, combining the drug discovery process with AI transformed the paradigm of drug discovery. Millions of experimental data, known data, available in the public domain, PubChem, JMBL, Binding DB, PDB, etc. The experimental data includes in vitro and in vivo data for each disease, ADME, tox, and many more. Properly curated data should be considered for the generation of precise ML/DL models. Two types of machine learning methods are widely used in the small molecule drug discovery, unsupervised and supervised. Unsupervised methods are used to cluster the molecules based on chemical similarity. As the data is large, quicker clustering methods, k-means, k-median, mean shifting, Gaussian mixture can be applied to yield better results. The clustering methods are useful to identify the nearest neighbors and have a greater application in repurposing and off-targets prediction.
Supervised machine learning models are useful in generating the models for the datasets having the experimental activity.
These methods are predictive methods with either quantitative, continue, or qualitative, categorical based on the experimental activity of the training data. Generating the models for each protein or type of disease and when applied, will classify the unexplored data more precisely to identify new hits. However, precision mainly depends on the quality of the input data. The predictive methods combining with molecular modeling will accelerate the discovery process from hit identification to lead optimization. The supervised learning methods will have a major role to identify the druggable compounds based on ADMET. Building a highly predictive model for absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, and toxicity using adequate samples and filter the compounds during the screening will furnish the most druggable compounds for biological studies. Physiochemical properties, quantum mechanical properties, 2D descriptors, 3D descriptors, molecular patterns, molecular figure prints of the training data sets will be used to generate the machine learning models. Methods such as PCR, PLS, support vector machines, SVMs, naive Bayes, random forest, neural networks, recursive partitioning are quite often used for the generation of ML models by correlating descriptors with experimental activity. Recently, deep neural network (DNN) gained importance not only in drug discovery, also in other areas of science and business. DNN is a deep learning neural network method that builds hierarchical internal representations of the input data with the help of multiple hidden layers. 4 major DNNs, convolutional neural networks, CNN, recurrent neural network, RNN, deep autoencoders, A, deep belief network, DBN, are having their own advantage for the model generation. These methods are applied in the prediction of biological activity, ADMET properties, and physiochemical parameters. For small training data, ML methods will perform equally or better than DNN, but with large datasets, DNN will outperform ML. Overfitting is a major challenge during model generation. Recent developments available to overcome this challenge, such as Dropout and DropConnect. A significant development in these methods in the areas of de novo design, the binding energy between ligand receptor, chemical syntheses, nanoparticles, formulations, and many more. The ML-DL provides the end-to-end service in drug discovery, development, and beyond. The new rational pipeline will accelerate the discovery and reduce the failures in the discovery. In the future, the knowledge-based innovation will generate new medicines with cost-effective treatment for chronic diseases. Immunocure Drug Discovery Solutions has in-house ML-DL models and providing services for our clients.
Okay, so that is the last application, how the
that can be really helpful to reduce the cost, time, okay, and give you the precise candidate for the clinical trial. So that is regarding the applications, various applications of the artificial intelligence in the healthcare. Now we are moving to the next topic and last topic. This is regarding the artificial intelligence application that changes the healthcare. This is a top 10 most developing artificial intelligence technology in the world today. And these are the estimated budget in the world. It is estimated in 2026. So according to this Brian 2019 report, we are fastly moving on artificial intelligence based onto the robotic assistant surgery. Then we are slowly moving with the use of the artificial intelligence in the virtual nursing assistant. Then we have to manage our administrative workflow in healthcare. It can be also possible as a third leading application. The detection, fraud detection related to the healthcare. Dosage error reduction, that is the biggest problem into the healthcare. We are going to develop lots of things related to the AI in dosage error reduction, then connected machines in the production and manufacturing of the medicines, clinical trial participation in clinical trial management. AI can be work very good, and diagnosis. Obviously, we give lots of examples. And automated image diagnosis is possible, use of AI and cyber security. So these are the estimated potential annual values by 2026 and leading 10 applications that really earns the money into the future. Now, the last slide, what are the potential challenges for the artificial intelligence? It is not that easy that every person's, every hospitals or every pharmaceutical company, they utilize the artificial intelligence. What is the reason? These are the main threats or disadvantage of, there are the challenges of the artificial intelligence. First is the development cost. You can see developing of robotic machines or software. It is a combined efforts of so many persons, mechanical engineer, information technology, computer, electric engineer. So the ultimate cost is very, very high. Okay, so that is the biggest challenge and most important things regarding AI. And obviously, the men have always the fear that the robots, they are replacing the humans. The professionals, they have some ethical issues are there, and they found that surgery can be performed by the robots, but it is never possible. But still, threats are there. So it is very difficult to adopt by the professionals. Then the privacy issues are there, securities issues are there. You can see in the application, the artificial intelligence, they are utilized lots of previous records, images in diagnoses and perform the so many in vitro studies. So that might be chances of privacy and security. You can see certain health trackers where we have to input our data. Okay, so that can be chances of the lack of privacy and security in AI. And integration issues are there. You cannot integrate it with each other's. Okay, ethical issues with the regulatories, bodies and professionals. That is there, and that is also difficult to professions like doctors, nursing staff to adopt the new technology of the artificial intelligence. So because they have to learn every time new things, so it is not possible every time every doctors they wanted artificial intelligence technology, because they have to learn by new sites. And obviously they also need update. Every artificial intelligence need update. Okay, like you update your Android application, similarly we need to update the artificial intelligence technologies are there. So basically there are the possible challenges are there. So this is, I think, my last slide. Thank you very much for being patiently with me in last 1 hours. And I'm taking this opportunity to thank you, Dr. Ketan Shah, who is the coordinator of this webinar from the Paro Institute of Pharmacy and Research. I'm really thankful to the principal of Paro Institute of Pharmacy and Research, and thank you all the team who really managed very well of this online webinar. Thank you very much, all of you. And finally, yes, obviously, listeners, thank you very much for being with me in last 1 hour. Thank you, all of you. Over to you, Ketan sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Praveen Tirkar sir, for sharing your valuable knowledge about artificial intelligence in the healthcare. Sir, you have started with the history of the artificial intelligence, importance, benefits of artificial intelligence, including its current and the future of the artificial intelligence. And sir, you have given very good examples to show that how artificial intelligence can simplify the complex tasks related to healthcare. So, a very good example, interesting example you have said, like surgical robots, virtual nurse assistant, various Android applications related to healthcare, telemedicine, and many more examples. So, on behalf of Faculty of Pharmacy, Paro University, I would like to thank Dr. Praveen Tirkar sir for giving his valuable time and sharing his knowledge with us. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you.